One false accusation from a child got me arrested, beaten, and fired, and even when he confessed he made it all up, nobody gave me my life back. I never thought my life could unravel so quickly. 1 month I was steady, working hard, falling in love again, finally feeling like maybe I could rebuild after my divorce. And the next, I was being shoved face first into the hood of a police cruiser, my wrists burning from cold steel, my neighbors staring through their curtains while their kids whispered. All because of a 13-year-old boy who didn't want me in his mother's life. When I met Claire, she felt like the kind of calm I hadn't had in years. She laughed with her whole face. She had a way of making an evening on the couch feel like a vacation. I didn't mind that she had a son, Ryan, from her previous marriage. I thought I could handle that. I'd been a dad before, I thought I knew how to navigate the tricky mix of respect and distance. But Ryan never gave me a chance. From the first time Claire introduced us, he looked at me like I was trespassing. He barely said hello. He sat on the couch scrolling his phone while I tried to make conversation. "How's school?" I'd ask. "Fine." "Playing any sports?" "No." "You like video games?" "Guess so." He gave me nothing. Claire would scold him for being rude, and he'd just shrug. I thought, give it time. He's a kid. He's been through a divorce. He doesn't want some stranger around his mom. I could take a few cold shoulders. But Ryan escalated. At first, it was little lies. He'd tell Claire, "He yelled at me when you weren't here." She'd frown and ask me about it, and I'd tell her I hadn't raised my voice at all. She believed me, but there was always that pause before she said, "I know." Like the doubt was planted. Then he got more creative. One night, Claire and I were cleaning up after dinner. Ryan stomped into the kitchen, eyes wide, fake tears gathering, and said, "He told me he'd hurt me if I told you we don't get along." My jaw dropped. I laughed at first, because it sounded so ridiculous. But Claire froze. She looked at him, then me, then back at him. "Ryan, that's not true," she said. But he stuck to the story. He made his bottom lip tremble. He looked so believable. I thought, he'll get tired of this game. He'll realize it's not working. But instead, he doubled down. He went to his grandparents, Claire's parents, and told them I was threatening him. Then he called his father, Claire's ex, a man who already hated me for existing, and told him I'd hit him. That was enough to set everything in motion. The police came to my house at 6 a.m. I was still half asleep when fists pounded the door. "Open up." "Police." My stomach dropped. I hadn't done anything wrong, but the tone, the way they said it, I knew nothing good was coming. I opened the door and 4 officers flooded in, guns drawn. My neighbors peeked out of their windows like it was a TV show. They slammed me against the wall. I kept shouting, "What is this about? What did I do?" But they didn't answer. One officer read me my rights while another cuffed me so tight my hands went numb. Claire stood on the stairs, pale and shaking, holding Ryan behind her. He was pretending to cry into her sweater, and in that moment, I knew, he'd done this. At the station, they told me I was under arrest for child abuse. I laughed in disbelief. Child abuse? I've never laid a finger on him. They didn't care. They had his statement. They had concerned witnesses, his grandparents, his father, who swore Ryan had told them everything. I spent the night in a holding cell that smelled like piss and despair. My job called when I didn't show up. I told them I was in trouble, and they said they had to let me go for now. Just like that, 15 years of steady work gone. When they finally let me out on bail, I had bruises on my wrists, a busted lip from when one officer shoved me into the squad car, and a hollow pit in my chest. Claire met me outside the courthouse. She had tears in her eyes. "I don't know what to believe," she said. My heart broke in that parking lot. I wanted to scream. I wanted to grab Ryan by the shoulders and shake the truth out of him. But I couldn't. He was a kid. And the law was on his side. Kids are believed. Adults are not. Claire's ex showed up at my door a week later. I should have seen it coming. He was built like he spent his life trying to intimidate people, thick neck, permanent scowl. He didn't knock. He just walked right in, fists clenched. "You think you can lay hands on my son?" He snarled. Before I could even answer, his fist smashed into my jaw. I went down. He kicked me in the ribs until I couldn't breathe. I remember curling up on the floor, gasping, blood in my mouth. He broke 2 ribs and left me sprawled on the carpet. "Stay away from my family," he spat, and walked out like he'd just taken out the trash. I ended up in the ER with fractured ribs, a concussion, and more shame than I could process. The doctors asked if I wanted to press charges. I laughed bitterly. "Yeah, I'll press charges. While I'm already being charged with abusing his kid. That'll look great in court." Claire visited me in the hospital once. She held my hand and cried, saying she didn't know what to do. "I want to believe you," she whispered. "But he's my son." I didn't blame her. I could see the war inside her. Maternal instinct against logic. Blood against love. Meanwhile, Ryan enjoyed his role as victim. He walked around school telling everyone his stepdad was a monster. He showed off the bruises on his arm that he'd given himself by slamming it against the bedpost. Kids whispered about me in the grocery store. Parents pulled their children closer when I walked by. My entire town looked at me like I was a predator. Months dragged on. Court dates, lawyer bills, sleepless nights. I drank too much just to make the hours pass. My savings bled dry. My reputation was shredded. And then, one day, everything collapsed for Ryan. It was in therapy, of all places. The court had ordered counseling for him. One session, he broke down and admitted it. He told the therapist, then Claire, then eventually the police, he'd made it all up. He hadn't liked me dating his mom. He didn't want me around. He wanted her all to himself. He thought if he made me look bad enough, I'd go away. I thought I'd feel relief. But all I felt was emptiness. The charges were dropped. But the damage was done. My job was gone. My military service, something I'd been proud of, was tarnished because now my record had domestic disturbance stamped all over it. Claire's parents cut her off financially for letting this happen. Ryan's father refused to take him back and called him a liar and a disgrace. And Ryan? His grandparents rewrote their will and cut him out entirely. He went from being the golden grandson to the outcast. Claire tried to repair things between us. She begged me to come back, to try again, now that the truth was out. But I couldn't. Every time I looked at her, all I could see was that morning when she stood at the top of the stairs and didn't say a word while the cops dragged me away. Every time I closed my eyes, I felt the cuffs cutting into my wrists, heard the neighbors whispering. Ryan destroyed everything. My career. My reputation. My relationship. Even his own family. One boy's lies detonated like a bomb and left all of us buried under the rubble. He apologized, eventually. Tears, snot, the whole performance. I didn't know it would go this far, he said. I wanted to forgive him. I wanted to believe he was just a kid, too young to understand consequences. But when I touched the scar on my lip or felt the ache in my ribs when it rained, forgiveness didn't come. Now I live alone. I work odd jobs, nothing steady. I don't date. I don't trust. Claire moved to another state with Ryan, trying to start fresh, but I hear through mutual friends that he's floundering, trouble at school, fights, no future. Part of me feels sorry for him. Most of me doesn't. I thought truth was supposed to set you free. But the truth came too late. The lie already did its damage. The worst part? No one ever apologized. Not the cops, not the school, not the neighbors, not Claire's parents. Everyone just moved on. Except me. Because I still wake up at 3 a.m. hearing that knock, those fists on my door, those words, open up. Please. And I don't think that sound will ever leave me.